Welcome back to the show. We're joined now by Cardinal SID Clark Teuscher. Clark, this fall season has been a successful one, to say the least. 3 conference titles, nearly a 4th. We start with the football team, 10-0 in the regular season. Coach Thorne breaks the all-time victories record, conference championship. It's safe to say it's been a successful season so far.
Yeah, and even in the preseason, talking to the coaches, they had a feeling this was going to be a pretty special season because of the kind of weapons they had in all 3 phases of the game. And certainly it's turned out to be that way. Now into the thick of the playoffs here. Trying to become the first team in school history to make it past the second round and into the national quarterfinals, and look like they're in as good a position as possible to be at that point. They're playing at home, and everybody's healthy, so looking to try and make a run into December for the first time. Yeah,
health, one of the key points Coach Thorne has talked about all year. We move to the rest of the fall sports. Youth really seems to be a theme for a lot of these teams, and you couldn't really tell with the women's golf team that they only had 1 senior.
Yeah, they actually, within their top 4, it was actually a senior, a junior, a sophomore, and a freshman. As spread out as you can get it in terms of your recruiting, but it certainly worked out for them very well. Set all kinds of records for scoring, set a tournament record scoring in one event. They won 5 of the tournaments that they played in the fall and finished second in the conference championships, which is the highest that the program has ever finished.
And looking forward for them as far as it's pretty much a waiting game now until nationals in the spring, right?
Yeah, it'll be March or April before they find out if they've gotten one of the 2 at-large bids to the national championship. Certainly their body of work is strong, but they're not the only one in that position in Division III, so we all get to sit around on our hands and wait.
Pretty much. Also, the women's tennis team has its main season during the fall as well. 13-3 record, pretty good campaign. Corey Schillerstrom doing some big things, etching her name in the Cardinal record books.
Yeah, she became the Cardinals' all-time leader in singles victories as a junior. So she certainly has a chance to put her own stamp on the program and put that record someplace where it's going to be pretty difficult to get.
And Cardinal volleyball, another one of those young teams coming off the best season in school history, hoping to compete with Carthage along the top of the conference, and things just didn't add up this season.
Yeah, there were a lot of expectations coming in with the number of players that were coming back off of last year's team, and they just never quite gelled as a group in the new roles that they had defined with the players that graduated. Really kind of a team that struggled for leadership all season long. Once again, they've got most of these girls coming back, a lot of sophomores and juniors, so it's a chance for them to bounce back. The spring is going to be very important in terms of determining combinations and lineups heading into the fall.
And Yenny Kapanen's women's soccer team, an experienced back line, really helped keep some of the scores low for them. Amy Frazzini had a heck of a year as their keeper. They finished right about 500, but you talk about a strong finish. They really played well down the stretch.
Yeah, they were able to get a win and a couple of ties, one of which was against a nationally ranked opponent in Augustana down the stretch. Augustana was a playoff team this year, so certainly a strong finish, and it says a lot about the character of those players. Still having some problems getting the ball in the net. So certainly something that they've got to work on and get squared away for next season. Struggling
to put the ball in the net kind of seemed to be the theme for Matt Klosterman's men's soccer team this year. They kind of really struggled as the season went on. Very solid defensively. Paul Box and Philip Klipp doing very well on the back line. But once again, the offensive forwards really kind of just not having their way with things down the stretch.
Yeah, Philip as the goalkeeper and Paul as the central defender. Both of those guys were all conference selections, so it certainly tells you the esteem that those coaches were able to see in their performance throughout the season. A lot of 1-goal losses, a lot of shutout losses. So really, it was kind of frustrating to play that well on the back end and then not see results in the win column. Certainly a good base to start from, that defense. So if they can get some scorers recruited, then they've got a chance to move up the ladder a little bit.
And we talk about youth. This team obviously has, a lot of the younger guys. It seems like some of their forwards are freshmen and sophomores. And when you look at where this program was maybe 3-4 years ago, they've still come a long way.
Yeah, they when Coach Klosterman first started, the year before they went 0-20, they just did not have the talent or the discipline to compete with the top teams in a really tough conference like the CCIW. They've gotten to the point now where they've got enough talented players in place. It's just getting those players to perform at a level that is going to be necessary to win night in and night out, which typically is the biggest hurdle to climb when you're trying to move up.
Well, Clark, we appreciate you coming by.
Thank you, Alex.
And that's all the time we have for the Cardinal Report. It's been a fun fall season. The winter sports have quite a bit to live up to. For everyone involved with the show, I'm Alex Simmons. We hope to see you next time right here on the Cardinal Report.